And yeah, now we're into the pick and ban phase. Interestingly enough, she has LeBlanc being stricken first.
No surprise to see that there, obviously because Xiaohu's going to prioritize controlled mages, can have a tough time against someone like LeBlanc if he wants to go Azir, able to jump on top of him. So taking away that power pick. On the other side, though.
Yeah, the Azir taken away from Xiaohu to echo it, and Aluka's Scion.
No Trine Driver for Aluka. And this is really kind of concerning for me because, again, I feel like they're so used to Aluka being placed on his island, just joining for team fights, that if he decides to go for an Aurelia or a Fizz or a 1v1 dual champion, that Spirit has to spend so much more of his time assisting Aluka and covering for him, when really the dynamic of WE, they're not used to playing that way. It's more about Mystic and Xie and Spirit invading the enemy jungle.
Yeah, and that's something that we saw when they played yesterday. As you mentioned, Spirit ended up getting Aluka reasonably fed, and oh my goodness, the insta-lock Echo, he gets through the ban phase and is picked up immediately.
You know who else got through the ban phase?
Fizz?
Fizz!
Hey!
Let's cover quickly the last ban. So it's Cassiopeia and Ryze. Of course, 5.10 Ryze. He's gone through 2 rotations of buffs and tweaks to his numbers. No surprise to see him taken away there, although Zatai got to play him. Not to a lot of success last split, or excuse me, last set. But Echo. We've seen Echo in the top lane, and we've seen Echo in the mid lane. So
I haven't seen him in the jungle yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Well, in professional play, I'm sure he's been played solo queue. I'm sure he's been played as an AD carry. Anyways, but yeah, the Echo being picked up, it's unlikely MLXG is going to take it, but that is a bit of a flex pick. However, the other big priority pick, and he hovered over it and swapped away at the last second. I was about to talk about Hecarim, but opts for the Nautilus Sivir combo instead.
I love the fact that Mystic's picking up Sivir. Sivir Nautilus is incredibly powerful for your 5v5 engage. You just think you press R on Sivir, and then you just chase someone down with the depth charge. Yeah,
very strong combination. And teams like
still available, though.
Yeah, they're listing over very strong with those meta picks. There's the Alistar Hover and the lock-in with the Hecarim.
And obviously you have to pick up Hecarim in this rotation because you can't give Sivir and Hecarim to a team, which is why WE were kind of flashing that in their first initial rotation, but obviously prioritizing the Nautilus for Conan.
Which could be a bit indicative of what WE are thinking this game.
It's a little bit concerning that they're prioritizing Conan's champion pool. Not that Nautilus is an amazing champion and maybe Conan's just more comfortable on that, but he actually has the lowest kill participation of any support in the league. And what's interesting about that is opposite of him in this set is Lei, who has the highest kill participation of any support in the league.
Oh, very interesting. We'll keep an eye on the support members and if they're able to get around the map. Victor finally enabled. He's going to be locked in for Xie and the Fizz to help him out on top. That's Aluka.
Now, naturally, locking in Victor alongside Aluka means that you completely give away the fact that Fizz could be feasibly used as a flex pick.
Yeah, definitely possible to see that happen. I've even seen Fizz in the jungle. Not very well, but it's capable of happening.
It's clever that they're giving, or not clever, I should say, but interesting that they're giving Spirit their priority pick by the fact that they're letting him counterpick the jungle matchup, unless it's jungle Fizz.
Yeah, Nidalee's still on the board as well, so he could try to go for something a little funky.
I mean, just think about this. They could have, last picked the mid lane, which is pretty standard in most champ selects or draft phases, but they chose to show their hand on Xie just so Spirit could get the comfortable matchup. So again, establishing how important he is on getting his comfort champions and making an impact for his team. But on the other side, we finally have the final lock-ins.
Yeah, Xiaohu going to be taking Orianna, the standard control mage, Wu Xin on that very mobile, high-damaging Lucian. Very strong picks out of RNG, and all in all, their team comp looks pretty scary.
And more importantly, because Orianna has been picked up, we now know that that Echo is going into the top lane, because that is a jungle Hecarim.
Yeah, that's
unless it's a jungle Echo.
It could be jungle Echo. I was just talking about it.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, we're getting into the swaps right now. We can see MLXG looking at it currently. The last pick is going to be putting Aluka onto Maokai, and Spirit's taking Fizz.
So there we go. My premonition came true, and it was, in fact, a jungle Fizz. I was like, that's kind of odd that they would give the counter pick to the... No, but they're just toying with everyone to kind of figure out what they were going to go, and Spirit taking that Fizz.
Very interesting team compositions out of both of these teams. Echo in the top lane going up against Aluka on that Maokai. And you mentioned that this was something
I think it was an Echo jungle.
Was it the Echo jungle or was it the Hecarim top?
I think it was Echo jungle. We'll see because we're about to get into the lineups.
We're about to get into the graphics as they load up. And yeah, it is Hecarim in the top, Echo in the jungle.
I can't believe you got your wish.
Shenanigans. Shenaniganery. This is fantastic. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Aluka when we get into the game. Spirit and MLXG on the screen right now. You can see that's Echo versus Fizz, 2 AP sort of backline stickers. And Xie and Xiaohu rocking on that Orianna Victor.
Stickers.
Yeah.
Collect them all. It's going to be Whoosh and Mystic in the bot lane with Lucian and Sivir.
They're like those burrs that you get when you walk through a field that cling to your pant leg, the burrs.
I thought you said birds. I was like, what fields are you walking through?
Oh my gosh, the Field of Dreams is what I'm walking through.
Field of Nightmares.
Yeah, but they're the champions that get into the backline. Somebody like Hecarim, somebody like Fizz, somebody like Echo, who just goes for the backline.
There's a lot of
carry.
backline dive, yeah.
They're stickers. They find the carry and they stick to them. But we'll see if the stickers are effective as we load onto the Rift. All right, we're back on the Rift. It's RNG versus WE for game number 1 of their set. This is set number 3 of the LPL. And we can see a standard 5-point coming out, and your eyes do not deceive you. That is a jungle Echo, and on the other side, a jungle Fizz.
This makes perfect sense because we're in the LPL.
Yes.
Okay, let's kind of regroup, and although as I say that, they're all stacking in a bush.
No, they're regrouping. They're listening to you right now. Tell them to do something else.
Well, let's kind of figure out where these comps, their power spikes are, how they're going to work, and kind of plan everything out.
Okay.
So we talked about the stickers, the backline threat potential
Yes.
of Echo and Hecarim and things like that. Now, obviously, the big core and main champion to look for in RNG's composition is still going to be Xiaohu's Orianna, and he's the big player for them alongside MLXG as far as their playmaking ability and who's going to end up carrying the game. So the ball delivery system is going to be on Alistar and Hecarim. So that's fantastic right there. And then Echo's kind of left to do his own thing. If he can get to that back line and immediately blow someone up, we'll see what kind of itemization he chooses for here. If he's going to go more of a traditional tanky route for a jungle, or if he's going to do something like Flandre did, where you get the Magus enchantment.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting to see how that works out. There's the invade from RNG as they decide to look for some early aggression and instead find wards. The invade is going to steal the blue buff away from Spirit. And with Spirit on his other side of the jungle, that means he's not going to be able to get a leash, as there is a double jungle start as Aluka's clearing out that Maokai camp for the Raptors. Everything's nice and slow and calm, aside from, you know, the invade.
The question's now going to be, are they just going to let Spirit take his... I hope you're ready for this. If they're just going to let Spirit rotate back to his own blue buff and take that, or if they're going to try to continue to invade Spirit and possibly look for a 3 buff on him. He does have a lot of options. We saw the immediate back timer coming in from Hecarim, so it may be that Hecarim's backing and will burn the teleport to the top lane to get to his wave, or possibly even walk to his own blue buff to make sure that Spirit just can't walk in and take it for free. So that's because you have to ask the question, you know, why are you delay invading on enemy blue? Obviously, it forces Spirit to walk to their side because he doesn't have his numbers advantage there, but you're not in a lane swap situation, so it's not like you're going to be doing a traditional vertical jungle. So how are you going to follow that up, or are you just going to let Spirit walk to the other side of the jungle and be like, this is fine, I wanted to go on a stroll anyway? Yeah,
we'll keep an eye on RNG and see whether they do head down to the bottom or if they continue to pursue Spirit around the map, because he is on a carry jungler, a potential carry jungler on that Fizz. And he does have Xie on a slightly safer Victor in the mid lane. And you talked a little bit about the interaction between Spirit and Xiaohu, the Orianna and Fizz, and how that would work out.
The Orianna and Echo.
Yes, the Orianna Echo. Yes, those are totally the words that I meant to say. But let's talk a little bit about the Fizz and the Victor and how that's going to work.
There's a lot of kill potential in the mid lane. So the thing about Victor is that he's very cost efficient in his early lane phase as far as his clear is concerned, just because the initial item that he's going to be upgrading is going to be his Hex Core. And it's the AP that you get is very cost efficient to the amount of gold that you're putting in. So typically Victors will upgrade their Hex Core, and then they can start looking for their core itemization.
Okay.
But once you have your upgraded Hex Core, you can effectively kill the backline creeps in pretty much like one laser. Once you have enough levels and points into your laser, of course. So Victor's lane phase gets very, very easy, and he gets a lot of control over the minion wave. Orianna, still a level-dependent champion, and she's much more mana-hungry than Victor is going to be.
Do you think it could be that Xiaohu would end up taking the other blue, and we're going to see MLXG retreat to his own side of the jungle and feed that into Xiaohu right away? I'm going to take that as a no. See, there's a thing that happens when you're casting with another person and you post a question and your co-caster just kind of looks at you and says, oh, that's cute.
I didn't say anything. There was a facial expression.
There was.
We'll see. I'm curious what how they're gonna their posture for it, because again, it was always these players are very talented. They show signs of brilliance, but their macro shot calling isn't the strongest, or I should say the most consistent as it could be.
I mean, they seem to be coming into this with a plan. The first pick, Echo. I mean, yes, I understand he's a strong meta pick, but clearly they've got something built around him.
I'm just really curious what his build path is going to be. We've seen a lot of different variations on Echo. Dade went for the Sheen Rush first. We had Flandre on the bizarre Magus enchantment.
Yeah. That was kind of wonky, but it looks like it's going to be Spirit going for the invade, looking to steal it away, while MLXG opts to go for his own red buff. Now with level 2 picked up by Conan and Mystic, they're going to scare away Wushin and Lei, while the early harass comes out onto Xiaohu for some more pressure.
So because they were able to delay invade, and yes, Spirit does end up with 2 buffs, they do, however, know exactly what side of the map Spirit's on, because they forced him into this rotation, and now he has to respond to the top side of the map. So it could be about playing with pressure points, which is why we see MLXG now wandering to the bottom side, knowing for sure that Spirit's not here.
Comes out. Mystic is going to be taking some damage here. Ooh. A great hit from MLXG, catches up the flash, auto attack heal, keeps Mystic alive, but it's first blood from MLXG. Great pick onto that Echo.
And again, this is set up. They delayed invade Spirit, forcing him to...
in the mid lane as Fizz dives onto Xiaohu. He's going to make it out of there, though.
Again, manufactured. So they set up, okay, we're going to early gank bottom. By delay invading the blue buff, we force Spirit to the top side of the map. Since we know that he's not going to be there for a counter gank, we can easily walk into the bottom side of the map, pick that up.
Yeah, and we can sort of see the priorities for RNG as they come into this. Wushin and Lei on that very strong Lucian and Alistar, and all of the pressure from MLXG on that bottom side of the map to help get an early advantage. The early assist yields a longsword for Wushin, which should get him some more harass, while Aluka maintains some pretty consistent pressure in the top, but that's Let Me on a Hecarim. He's got nothing to worry about.
Curious what the early itemization for Woosh is going to be, if he's going to go for an early brutalizer or just use this as a springboard to get an advantage in his lane and then look towards a more consistent BF sword.
It is a bit interesting that he opted for the longsword first instead of maybe a double Doran's, or just going for the pure statistics in lane first. Mystic is going to answer with a longsword of his own, desperate to get those early stats out, while Wushin does have the boots advantage. Now let's talk a little bit about how team fights are going to go. We talked just a bit about the team comps and how they're built around Xiaohu, MLXG, and Spirit and Xie, but there's a lot of dive potential from both of these teams.
WE is more about your hard engage, and not that RNG doesn't have hard engage, but it's more about the shockwave. So again, if you're looking at where are the most important abilities for either of these teams, it's the ball delivery service with the shockwave on Alistar or Hecarim, or even some fun tricks with Echo and his ultimate. I'm really excited to see if those champions sync up well at all. Whereas on the other side, it's all about the on the hunt and the depth charge, as well as getting that twisted advance to the back line.
Sort of picking off targets as the fight progresses and just outlasting your opponent with hopefully enormous amounts of damage. The CS continues in the mid and bottom lane as people are looking for some of those stronger item points, while our 2 AP junglers commit to the jungle, and they take a pretty interesting build path. MLXG going for the Ranger's Trailblazer, while Spirit goes for the challenging Smite.
Spirit staying true to his roots and being the hard carry of the team. Says, I'm done with this Trailblazer Cinder Hulk, going straight for the challenging Smite. We'll see if he transitions that into a Cinder Hulk upgrade anyway on it. Yeah,
and once again, MLXG looking for another gank on the bottom. He doesn't have that blue buff, so that is a visual bug. Another knock-up finds Mystic. MLXG might be able to catch the stun here. He doesn't quite, just looking for some harass, and he gets out of there. Conan takes just a touch of damage, but walks away.
The reach for Echo is fairly impressive with his E right there, trying to find the stun lockup, but Conan nicely walks out of it. Still has his flash available to him as well, so...
Really solid play. Spirit looks to answer the pressure from RNG, but here's MLXG walking around the side. He's actually headed to the mid lane. Spirit hasn't been spotted out yet. If he can yield a kill for WE, that would do wonders for equalizing this bottom lane in terms of overall gold, but it doesn't look like he's able to find it. Wushin gets caught with the hook, and RNG look like they're just going to walk away.
Unfortunately, yeah, the big CC was the dredge line. It was used before Spirit was even postured into the back of the lane and able to follow up on it. And this even though the gank was unsuccessful, I like the fact that Spirit is playing to Conan and Mystic's side, as opposed to, again, putting resources in a Luca.
Another gank from MLXE finds GA, but he's not able to yield a kill. He's been doing pretty solid on trying to land that 1-2-3 hit combo. When it hits, it does big damage. Spirit, oh my gosh, he does go for the challenging smite, decides to turn onto it. There's another smite turned around onto the Scuttle Crab for health for MLXG, and he walks away.
Great response from Xiaohu. Obviously, they knew that they could go aggressive on Spirit, and Spirit immediately backed off, knowing that he didn't have his mid lane partner in Xie there to help him.
Yeah, so we can see MLXG sticking true to the RNG roots with the hyper-aggressive Echo. He's ganked 3 times already in 7 minutes and looking to get that additional early gold for his team so that RNG can snowball that early game. On the other side, WE seem to still be responding, but responding well. It's about even gold just across the board. No major advantages aside from that first blood, and WE looks like they might be able to get out of this early game without suffering too many losses, though we might have to see if RNG are going to let them as they just keep on dishing out harass.
Did that piercing light miss Sivir?
I'm not certain.
That's what it looked like to me. I was like, that's unfortunate. That's an unfortunate trade. But fairly calm for the early game. So we did have really the gold discrepancy is just, like you see, 400 gold, the gold amount for the first blood itself. So WE still in a very fine position.
They're doing good. That's been one of their difficulties. Their laning phase hasn't always been stellar. And the fact that they're able to keep pace with RNG right now so far is boding well.
The big contention or explosion point for this game should be around the big 5v5s, because again, they're very 5v5 oriented compositions and they go fast and eat the shockwave. So curious how and when they're going to start setting up for dragons. The thing about RNG is that they have the longest average game time for the LPL, and obviously it's because we've sat through long slugfest like that EDG game where it was 55 plus minutes.
It was a really great game. And the follow-up game immediately afterwards from EDG was similarly very entertaining. Now, you mentioned dragons would be important. So far, it looks like RNG have got a superior advantage in warding. They just have more wards across the map, but we haven't seen WE roam that much aside from Spirit. And Conan did go for a quick swing to the mid lane, but he ended up just dropping a pink ward and heading out. Now, here's MLXG. He accidentally procced the dragon as he is going for Cinder Hulk Trailblazer.
Getting a deep ward and focusing attention bottom.
Yeah, it couldn't mean a kill as, once again, Lei.
It's really important to note that Lei is level 6, so they have the Unbreakable Will available to them, so the dive potential is huge right now for Alistar.
Yeah, Echo waiting in the wings. He does have that Chrono Break, so he should be able to get out of there.
The ghost gave him away.
No, you can't see the ghost unless if you don't have vision of the character. MLXG finds him, and he's going to dish out just a touch of damage. Conan should get out of this. Yeah, the third proc brings him down to half health, but he just walks away.
And obviously they didn't commit on that because they don't have vision on Spirit right now as he's ganking the top lane.
Yeah, that's Let Me forced to use the Onslaught of Shadows defensively. He gets out of there, but how do RNG respond? Well, you go for a stroll through the enemy mid lane. There's the Unbreakable Will. The dive happens, and Xie gets deleted from the map.
The 1-2 pop, of course, again, they saw Spirit had committed top. They knew that there wasn't going to be a counter gank. Immediately run mid, use that Alistar ultimate to push off the tower. It's classic Valley.
Yeah, and here's the follow-up. Dragon looks to be the next big take from RNG after securing that kill on Xie, knowing Spirit's nowhere near close enough to respond. They burn everything, running down to the Dragon, and they're going to secure this no problem.
Free, easy objective. It's now about how will RNG reset the map, where will they look next. Not a lot of tower sieging potential going down, but still a lot of kill pressure across the map.
Yeah, they should be hitting some of those standard breakpoints. Let Me getting closer and closer to that terrifying late game Hecarim. He's now got mobility, which means that we could see a home guard teleport happen if he wants to try to make some silly shenanigans play. Some pressure onto the turrets as RNG look to be knocking down both bot and mid tier 1 turrets.
But we have now a big sudden swing of control in the game, so it was a fairly close game, and then suddenly the gold exploded into a 1K advantage for RNG. And again, it was on the back of MLXG. He was the player to watch, shot caller for the team, jungler, so obviously he's going to have the most early game potential. But Spirit is the big player for WE, and unfortunately, it's just not connecting for him. And it's kind of been the trend in the most recent sets for WE.
Yeah, speaking of which, we can see Spirit now heading up to the top lane. He finds Let Me, but Let Me senses something is off and backs away under his turret.
Aluka really telegraphed that.
Yeah.
Stepping forward.
Kind of unfortunate, but seeing Spirit now once again on the top side of the map, they've actually got MLXG on that side as well, so they could look to skirmish if they so desire. I think that's why we see Xiaohu being so aggressive onto Xie in the mid lane.
Forcing Victor to back so they have a numbers advantage, which is why Spirit's not going to commit on this 2v2.
Very solid play coming out of RNG so far as they continue to look for aggression and roaming. Aluka, he's going to head on down to the mid, and MLXG spots him out and just backs away.
So much confidence. So MLXG has done a fantastic job getting these deep wards, but it's really been on the back of the pressure that Xiaohu has been able to exert in the mid lane, making sure that he has full control of that wave and allowing MLXG to walk that far forward, knowing that his mid laner will get there first.
Seems like that is yielding some pretty positive results for RNG so far. MLXG clearing out the Scuttle Crab as once again he heads down to the bottom side of the map, but Spirit already there. He's going to clear out the Gromp. Does that ward see him? I think that ward does.
I think he walked through it, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate for Spirit as he spotted out on that side of the map. Even a roam from Xie as everyone is looking for action on the bottom. Lei is going to be the first one who's caught out. Spirit joins the battle. Lei doesn't even have to burn Flash. Not that he had it, but he just walks away.
And he's able to walk away and to be so safe. You saw that Whoosh was so far back in the lane. It's kind of like, Lei, what are you doing, buddy? We see them. Just come on back to the tower. You're fine. He was spotted out by 2 different wards. He had the ward on the Gromp, and you also have a deep ward in the lane itself. Yeah, right outside of tower range.
Working out so well for RNG as their superior vision so far has been instrumental in allowing them to make these plays and make these roams. I mean, MLXG has been all over the map, and he doesn't even... Oh, he does actually have a Spirit Stone. Sight Stone. Spite Stone. Spirit item.
Smite Stone.
The Smite Stone.
Well, what this vision effectively is doing for the team is it's wasting a lot of Spirit's time, and again, his ganks just aren't coming through. And what it's doing is it's opening up CS discrepancies in your 2 primary carries. So in the bot lane, 128 to 104, and again, about 13 or 12 to 13 CS is going to equate to a kill's worth of gold for your ADC. And the mid lane, not as sizable, about 10 CS, but the wave is... Actually, it's not pushing to Victor.
Yeah, it just balanced out just a touch, and now that gold lead has grown to about a 2,000 gold lead as RNG are just playing it safe, just playing it smart and casual, making sure that they know that they have this advantage, and they're keeping this advantage pressed onto WE. Everything that Spirit has been trying to do has been spotted out by forward wards. Anytime he heads to the top lane, even Let Me, without wards, had enough map sense to know, wait a sec, I haven't seen Spirit in a while. He was bottom, but he could be top, so he backs away. It's really impressive play out of RNG to keep such an active track on Spirit because they know how important he is to WE's success.
Exactly. It's now a question of where is Spirit going to look and when will the successful gank finally come through for them? Do they need that on the hunt? Is that ultimate going to be the key to any success for them in a true 5v5? And if that's true, then do RNG just look for little skirmishes despite the fact that they do have that really powerful shockwave? I mean, we saw it used in the mid lane. It was just used with Alistar that time. It wasn't the full 5v5, but just a 3v1 scenario.
Just there, we saw WE going for their first aggressive play in the past 7 minutes, clearing out the pink ward and looking for a few deep wards of their own. MLXG and Lei did spot that out, so they decided to look for a bit of roaming on their own as the top wet noodle fight continues unabated. A little bit of aggression from Spirit, but he's not even able to steal the Raptor camp with the help of Xie.
Power spike for Victor is really what it is. Upgraded his core as well as has the completed Morello, so Victor is pretty powerful right now. Orianna, she has her completed Athenes, but it's not going to be that big 3-item Orianna that does massive amounts of damage.
Now, Dragon's up in a minute. There's action as Spirit looks like he's trading just a bit for control over that Scuttle Crab on the bottom side of the map. Not able to take any serious damage and not able to give that much in return. Now, Dragon is up in 40 seconds. RNG have got complete control over this side of the map. There's one deep ward by the red pit to spot out MLXG, but I think everyone knows that this is going to be the big contest. MLXG immediately turns on this Spirit. He does not land both sides. The shockwave is going to find Xie. He's forced to flash away. Lots of damage onto MLXG. Still has the chrono shift, so he should be able to back out of there, but there is Conan. Lei comes in for the flank from the backside. Even teleport from Let Me, and MLXG cleans that up. A quick 2 kills. for RNG.
And not that Let Me needed to be there for the TP, but obviously it just made that engage so much safer.
Flash knockup as they dive on the Mystic. They inadvertently knock him under his own turret. And despite the heal, Wuxin gets a timely crit and picks up another kill.
And obviously this is timed perfectly for the upcoming Dragon, so that will be a free objective as well as 2 towers, because the bot tower is also very low. So a huge swing in power and gold for RNG in one fell swoop.
Yeah, this game has gone from a gentle nudge in RNG's favor to a full forced shove. They take those 2 turrets, they secure 3 kills. Now they're going to take the second Dragon. Slowly but surely, RNG are creeping closer and closer to victory, and WE are letting them.
And RNG have shown this in their MO that they are very capable of just running away with the game on a snowball. Even in their set against Invictus Gaming, it was one incredibly long-paced game where Invictus managed to win out in the very end, and then RNG just turned around and smacked them down in a quick 1-2 punch.
Very solid play. MLXG flirting with danger as he clears out his Krug camp, but with it down, he's going to recall currently 2-0-2. He's been involved in 4 out of his team's 5 kills, but you know who's been involved with everything? It's Lei in the bottom lane. Yeah, he's been all over the place.
The support with the highest kill participation in LPL has 100% kill participation for RNG.
Yeah, I know. Go figure.
Color me surprised.
Yeah, we're 18 minutes in. RNG are getting closer and closer to victory. Here we finally see WE taking the initiative and looking to set up a death bush, but they decide to back away. Are they going to be spotted out by MLXG? No, they aren't, as they finally creep around the lane, looking for Wuxin now. Spirit hops forward. Woosh dashes back. He doesn't have flash, doesn't even have heal. He goes low, burns the heal, trying to stay alive, and WE don't even get the kill to soothe their conscience as the rest of RNG collapse. GA has joined the fight. Shockwave to pull them back in for the chase, and this is just cleanup duty for RNG. Conan has joined the battle to try to zone a little bit more, but Aluka should go down here. Great knockup is going to stall it out, but that's a double kill on Xiaohu. He's 4-0-1. Conan doesn't even land the dredge line. MLXG jumps to the Scuttle Crab to get closer. 3 kills now for Xiaohu.
Wonderful collapse from RNG right there. It was a clever play from WE, suspecting that they would rotate their AD carry into the top lane to take the last standing outer tower since the bot lane and mid lane had fallen. So they were setting up a trap knowing that Lucian would be on that side of the map, but RNG just out mind gamed them, said, hey, go look delicious, we'll collapse.
Yeah, and it looks like the next delicious target is Spirit. You can see Lei tanking up as best he can. 2 excellent tower divers here, but Lei decides doesn't have enough damage quite yet, and Spirit gets out with only just a tickle from MLXG.
Unfortunately, there, Lei mechanical misstep with his Pulverize, and he just couldn't get a good angle on the headbutt. He was trying to look to knock him into the wall to maybe hold him in place a little bit as some superficial CC, but when Spirit got on the other side of that corridor, the headbutt would have just knocked him away, so good job from Spirit.
So let's touch a little bit on MLXG. He's been involved in 75% of his team's kills, 2-0-4, and you wanted to take a look at how he's building? Well, it's full tank.
It's full tank Echo.
Yeah.
So Echo does offer his team quite a bit of CC as well as stick and dive potential, and he's also going to be doing ridiculous amounts of damage anyway. Pretty much every single ability is going to be doing passive damage. He's got, no, it's not true damage. Just we had this discussion upstairs.
It's magic damage, and his ratios are huge.
Yeah, additional magic damage on the Q when it returns as opposed to true damage.
Yeah. Looks like another potential dive setup from WE as they try to collapse and take something, anything from RNG. Wuxin is waiting right on top of a ward, but RNG are fully aware that this is happening. They've got vision all over WE. They decide to let Me continue farming as he's going for a full tank build in the bottom, but he's going to get some serious pressure while Xiaohu cleans up in the mid. And so far, WE have just kind of been dancing around in front of the Baron without doing anything for the past minute or so.
Spirit really wants the Scuttle Crab.
He did.
And obviously it's safe for him because he can just playful trickster over the back of the Baron pit should someone come to contest. Now, the thing that I do want to talk about as we start to, again, address the sizable gold discrepancy opening between these teams, 35 to 28 right now, is majority of this gold discrepancy is being translated into vision. And it's with this vision that is working so effectively against WE because, again, you said it in the very beginning. Figure out where Spirit is. Word him up, figure out where he's going to be on the map, and just make sure that he's never put in a position where he can make plays happen for his team. Keep Spirit down, keep WE down.
Seems to be working out so far as Spirit kind of off on his own now. He's clearing out the other Scuttle Crab. Potential pick as they look for Mystic. Spell Shield only knocks away the headbutt, but that's perfect for MLXG and Lei. Here's the teleport coming in as it looks like it's a collapse on the MLXG and Lei. Unbreakable Will is blown. They turn it into a full team fight, but The rest of RNG aren't there yet. Finally, they turn in as Let Me has joined the battle. A big Shockwave finds 2, and this is cleanup duty once again for WE. They destroy Mystic, remove Conan from the map. Spirit tries to get away with that sneaky Fizz. He does indeed, but another 2 kills give RNG complete control over the Baron pit.
Xiaohu is so on point with his Orianna right now. Again, big proponent of the controlled mages. We talked about how MLXG was going to set the pace for the early game, but Xiaohu is the primary carry for this team. Fantastic Orianna performance. 6-0-2, has the death cap, so this is going to be massive damage coming out of this mid lane.
Absolutely stellar play from Xiaohu as he is now 2 items in 22 minutes. Dragon is up in another minute. Baron has been on the map, but RNG are continuing to play this about as textbook as you possibly can. Clearing out lanes, shoving turrets, and making sure you've got
vision
objectives.
Control.
Yeah.
Just on the top side of the map, and again, because Dragon is going to be spawning, we'll see how they pick up their vision and move it to the bottom side of the map to secure that objective. They've done a fantastic job every single Dragon rotation, making sure that they make a very big and viable pick before they rotate into it. So expect them to look for something similar, especially as big key ultimates start coming back up, like the Shockwave.
Yeah, Shockwave is just off of cooldown. The only thing that's missing is the Culling, Unbreakable Will, and Onslaught for RNG, but
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
No, that's the only thing that's
I think that they could be getting just fine without it. They'll be getting by just fine.
No, I agree. Starting to get closer and closer to that 10K gold gap, so...
Yeah. The numbers are continuing to increase. Dragon has just respawned. Big item breakpoints. Even Xiaohu opting in for the Haunting Guise to increase his damage right here, right now. MLXG looks for the pick onto Aluka, but he's turned around upon himself. That's the wrong target, guys. Let Me gets into the back line. The AoE is stacking up. Shockwave misses, but they're still doing enough damage to make up for the lack of that ultimate. Xiaohu with the command Dissonance is going to bring Conan low as well. With the 2 tanks now missing, WE decide to back away, and there's the pick you talked about. Dragon's now going to be the option.
And WE just have no damage threats to deal with how far ahead RNG are. And actually, the Onslaught of Shadows, it was very well placed to get Let Me into that backside, but he actually didn't hit anyone with the Fear CC. He caught, I think, 2 members with a devastating charge on the back half, but just positioning himself back there to start doing, I like to call it the baton, the twirling damage,
yes.
The helicopter.
The Helicopter Hecarim cleaning up 1-0-2 right now with a moderate CS lead over his lane opponent. And speaking of CS, it's been pretty even so far. A lot of the kills and rotations from WE have been based off of vision and the picks from MLXG and Lei. And that's really where they've been picking up the majority of their gold.
And we talk about how vision gets picked up and moved over the objective that you're prioritizing. So again, think about maybe 3 minutes ago how much vision was on the top side of the map. Just completely everything lit up, very deep wards to figure out who was coming to the lanes. As soon as Dragon was up for grabs, immediately all of those wards, you've got like 6 wards placed in one bush down there.
Let Me looking to find a pick onto Mystic. Oh, he's going to let him go as he opts for some minion kills instead. He's got his Spirit Visage. Glacial Shroud is finished as well, so he's going to be doing some serious damage. The rest of RNG are on that side of the map. Next objective looks like it's going to be the top tier 1, and while RNG was set up to prepare to fight for it, WE just let it go, and RNG are like, wait, what do we do now?
They're too far behind. Effectively, what WE need is they need a numbers disadvantage to make a fight, and that means a pick. Now, they have plenty of tools for wave clear, stalling, and pick, but with RNG, just how oppressive they've been with their vision control and been very clever and very cautious in the engagements that they pick. Hold on, though.
Yeah, a little bit of a tricky situation as Lei finds Aluka. MLXD joins him for a little bit of harass, but he gets under the turret just fine. The Rod of Ages and Warden's Mail keeping himself very healthy. 5-man swing up top from RNG, gets some damage onto the tier 2 turret. They're not going to be able to crack it, however, and WE hold.
I'm actually curious that they're not playing with their TP discrepancy and sending Hecarim down bottom.
Well, you can see him roaming down right now. He's covering the mid lane to clear out that minion wave, and with MLXD clearing out this Raptor camp, that's only going to help increase their vision even more.
He's also got a huge wave bottom. That is going to be a big pressure point for WE in the next 30 to 45 seconds.
Well, definitely keep an eye on Let Me and see if he's able to make use of that. As that wave is building, he's shoving in the mid. Suddenly, all 3 tier 2 turrets are about to start receiving pressure from RNG, and immaculate wave control all across the board is yielding this pressure. Spirit, he takes a quick baton hit, and with that, Let Me decides to back away just a touch, but the split push continues.
So this is the standard Cinderhulk Fizz. I do want to point out to Spirit's build. Has the Challenging Smite with the Cinderhulk upgrade. Looking for the Frozen Heart.
Hopefully that will help the Siege, getting some damage on the turret. There's On the Hunt. Knockup is going to find Xiaohu, but there's no follow-up. The CC falls, and he's just fine. Spirit gets into the back line. MLXG tanking the fish from Spirit. He's now on to Mystic as they're doing some good damage. Xiaohu still in the back untouched, able to keep himself alive. Aluka dives him. Spirit dives him. Finally, he goes down, but they've lost so many members. 3 have gone down so far. In the meanwhile, RNG have picked up 4 kills. This is going to be the clean ace. They only lost 1 member.
And they have the minion wave available for them. They immediately turn on Baron, so without Spirit alive, that is going to be a free Baron. Could have been a tower, but this Baron will obviously lead to more.
Yeah, that's the hope, as MLXG is awful low health here, doesn't have the chrono break, so he's going to have to get Let Me in there to help keep himself alive. Baron's going to be brought low, and just like this, RNG are expanding their gold lead even more. They're up now by 13,500. This Baron's going to increase it by now. That's 15,000 gold, 28 minutes into the game. There are pings going down for the Dragon, but that's not even on the map, guys.
And here we go. We're going to have the replay. So the thing that I kind of want to point out here is the gravitational field is kind of used on the side on a choke point, and it actually locks up MLXG right here. But while he's locked up, the damage is so spread up. Like, WE, they can't consolidate their numbers and all get onto the same target, and because of how sticky and how mobile and just how far ahead RNG is, they're able to pick up all of these little skirmishes around this big area and just mow through everyone on an individual 1v1, 2v2, 3v3 basis.
Yeah, RNG are doing so much damage right now just off of the raw amount of items and pure statistics that they have. 4-0 and 11 on that Echo. MLXG going heavy onto Spirit. He's actually caught in the stun here, but should be able to hop over the wall. Whoosh! It gets destroyed, and Xiaohu's on the wrong side of this fight. MLXG is the target. Is he going to get out of there? No, he actually goes down, and that's a quick 2 picks for WE. They turn on delay with a 5-man knockup. He thought he would have the following command Shockwave from Xiaohu, but it's just a little too late. He only finds Aluka as Mystic Spell Shield, and suddenly WE, they're putting up a healthy fight.
Look at how different it looks when they get a pick and they consolidate all of their cooldowns on the same target at the same time.
Yeah, really solid damage coming out from WE. They are going to take this Tier 1, the second Tier 1 for them of the game, and they're actually looking for some damage onto the Tier 2. Good luck, though, friends. Xiaohu's there as well, and in fact, Xiaohu's back away.
Yeah. That would be suicide.
Yeah, that's a lot of pick.
Yeah, Aluka would just Twisted Advance him and goodbye Orion. And if he died there, then it's just more enforcement to continue pushing forward since he's their primary source of wave clear.
Yeah, Let Me getting some good shove on the bottom is going to try attacking that bottom Tier 2 turret. He should be able to bring that down relatively quickly. And the 5-man recall from WE just to make sure that nothing happens. And I think what we just saw was Wushin saying, you know what, that wasn't a pick. That was my internet.
Hold on, guys, lag.
Yeah. Let me reset my router.
No, I kind of want to touch on that fight again in the top side, because
yeah.
I think it really illustrates the issues that WE have been having, and it's just so many cooldowns go so many different directions, and they're not synced up. You know, they're not the true wombo combo. The gravitation's going one direction, the Victor ult's going another one. Yep. Fizz is on the back line, but Aluka's trying to run around the entire team fight so he can join Fizz on the back line. It's not cohesive, and it's not all happening in the same direction. And that's really been WE's problem and why they haven't been able to pick up any 2-0 victories. A lot of them have been splits, but majority of them have been 0-2.
Yeah, we'll definitely see if WE can pull out the 1-1. They're down a very healthy amount. That's 13,500 gold 30 minutes into the game. And while you are hitting some pretty scary breakpoints, Xie has finished his Rabadons. He's got the Marillanomicons. He's going to be up against an almost 4-item Xiaohu now. And it just seems like this difficulty, this wall of RNG might be too difficult to surmount. Once again, they need to continue looking for picks. They need to try to get those number advantages. Dragon's on the map. Everyone wants to contest it. Let Me playing Hecarim right now. Sitting in the base with the home guard, Onslaught of Shadows. They're going to try burning through. We'll see if the stun is going to find it. The Dragon is stolen, however. Teleport from the far side is going to bring Let Me into the back line. RNG get right onto Mystic. He goes low, but they're taking a lot of AoE damage here. MLXG gets out of the fight just fine as Let Me has slain Mystic. A great Onslaught of Shadows and a follow-up Shockwave is doing enormous amounts of damage. MLXG, despite being at 200 health, doesn't even care, while Let Me goes 1v3, now 1v2. He gets a triple kill while Xiaohu is going to take that quadra away from him. Xie, the sole survivor, runs to his fountain.
A 4-for-0 trade right there, and RNG can have their picking of any objective they want on the map. Looks like it is going to be that mid-tier tower. Will give them the most passive map control. See if they look for more and possibly pick up an inhibitor here.
Yeah, they just might. Xie running forward to try protecting that inhibitor, but this is a big minion wave, and there's a lot of damage. The turret is going to go down here. They're going to take this inhibitor down as well. Though Mystic and Conan have respawned, they're not up in time, and RNG take the inhib and run right out.
Baron should be on the 2-minute window. It's curious where... It's always... Okay, so you have the inhibitor, so where does the enemy team... Or excuse me, where does RNG in this case reset and look next? With Baron coming up, obviously they can't commit too heavily to the bottom side of the map, although they're just so far ahead at this point that they can really do whatever they want. But it's about... I would say either rotating to the top side, picking up that last outer tower, or rotating to the bot side and pushing down that inhib. And I want to talk about this dragon fight. I was kind of expecting that we might go for a replay on it, but let's quickly talk about what happened that kind of led to this big power swing, finding that 4-0 pickup. Yep. And the thing that I want to point out is the jungle echo. And it's not doing ridiculous amounts of damage, but it's just so good at controlling space in front of it. The way that MLXG is using his... I forget what it's called. Help me, play-by-play casters.
Parallel convergence?
His giant zone control with the stun.
Parallel convergence.
Yeah. He throws that out into choke points, and then he tries to bait them in to find a 5-man stuns, and just gets onto that backline, engages a fight, and then resets his ultimate back to safety. Yeah,
here's MLXG. You can see him using that parallel convergence. He now has got a shield on top of that. Unfortunately, it falls off right as he takes some poke from WE. RNG zoning in the bottom, Lei running forward as fast as he can. He's got the flash, but doesn't look for the knockup. MLXG forced to flash away. And this could be a bit of an opportunity for WE. Oh, the Onslaught of Shadows turns it into RNG's opportunity. They dive into the back line. They're trading now as much damage as they can. Xie is being tickled by Let Me. He gets one with the baton. A good shockwave finds Mystic, and Let Me gets the double kill now. Is he going to be able to get the Quadra this time, or will it be stolen? Once again, he turns onto Xie, the squishiest remaining target. There it is. That's going to be kill number 2. He turns now onto Conan. The Quadra kill picked up by Let Me. Spirit, come on, man. You got to find that Hecarim.
Everyone just running away from this game. RNG, a clinical performance from them. Their vision control was immaculate. Their rotations were fantastic, and Jungle Echo paying off in huge dividends with its zone control. Just the ability to start fights. He doesn't have the hard CC to lock you down, but he can slow you down and allow his team to catch up. Yeah, excellent, excellent play. That's RNG taking game number 1 by destroying the enemy nexus, typically the standard way to win games. And WE, unfortunately, not doing that fantastic that time around. And a lot of that, I think, was off of Lei. We spent so much time talking about the Echo, about MLXG, and being all over the map.